في ظل تزايد الاتجاه نحو العولمة، أصبحت حوكمة الشركات الطريقة المثلى لنمو الشركات بشكل مستديم، وتظهر المزايا واضحة في تحسين عملية النفاذ إلى رأس المال والأسواق المالية وتقوية استراتيجية الشركة. واليوم اكتسبت حوكمة الشركات زخما كبيرا في الشرق الأوسط وشمال إفريقيا. الآن سنستمع لقصة مجموعة نقل في الأردن.
Well, the company started as a family business by my father in 1952. It was a trading company. It was until 1958 when he started his first industrial activity at the time. And the group ever since has evolved a lot in terms of number of companies and diversity. Today the group has 31 companies all over the Middle East and North America. The group today has around 6,000 people with the 31 companies, and it prides itself with the manpower pool of, in my opinion, one of the most qualified in the region, if not the world. So this is our major asset that we pride ourselves.
اكتشفت العديد من الشركات من خلال تجربتهم الشخصية أن من مصلحتهم تطبيق نظام حوكمة الشركات الذي يعود بالفائدة عليهم، ولذلك فإن تعلم كيفية تطبيق هذه المبادئ تدريجيا من شأنه تسهيل التعاطي مع هذه العملية. إذن لماذا استثمرت مجموعة نقل وشركة إن في حوكمة الشركات، وكيف قامت بذلك؟
I joined my father in 1985. It was a one-man show, a self-made man who was doing everything, putting 16 hours a day. He had several plans and he was waiting for me to join. And just to give you an idea, since 1985 till 1996, we moved from 5 companies to 26 companies. It was quite challenging for me, learning the business, trying to spearhead the expansion. It became very obvious to me that we needed to institutionalize the business in many ways, and many of the systems and procedures were not documented. So that was the beginning of, if you will, our journey in institutionalizing the business.
In this day and age of turbulence and financial crisis and countries going bankrupt and lost investor confidence at all levels, people need comfort, people need conviction, people need a sanity check. So for those that want to invest with you in these organizations, or organizations that have corporate governance, for them to see the model truly operating and it's truly reflected within the organization will bring that comfort to them and will give you an advantage over the other proposed investments that others are proposing to them.
In order to spearhead the expansion plan at the time, it was necessary for me to do many things, just out of common sense and business sense, to recruit top people, to have systems in place, to have rewarding mechanism, bonuses, profit sharing, to have accountability measures in place, and to have a clear vision so that everyone in the group knows exactly where we're heading and where we want to be in 10 years down the road. Now, this was not easy. The challenges were immense, but it took a lot of dedication, sacrifice, believing in the mission, and hard work, of course. And I realized early on that we were the bottleneck because we were two doing most of calling all the shots, and it was difficult for us. And again, that's how we evolved. We realized that I needed to prepare everything, document everything, and I worked with the team internally first, and then we started bringing in some consultants as we moved forward. So today I can tell you that we are tapping on the talent of 30, 40, even 50 top-notch people who can help us in moving.
في الشرق الأوسط وشمال إفريقيا تعمد الشركات للتركيز على 4 عناصر أساسية لتحسين ممارساتها لحوكمة الشركات. أولاً، تعزيز فاعلية مجلس الإدارة. ثانياً، رفع مستوى شفافية الشركة مع العامة. ثالثاً، التخطيط لمستقبل الشركة لصالح الأجيال القادمة. وأخيراً، إرساء مبادئ طويلة الأمد للشركة.
They set the pace, they set the culture, they set the values, they set the ethics, they set the objectives, and without their true dedication and belief in corporate governance, the rest of the organization would not really follow suit.
أحيانا تتداخل الأدوار وتختلط العلاقات بين الإدارة والمساهمين وأعضاء المجلس، وتصبح الأمور غير واضحة. في معظم مدن المنطقة كما الحال في بعض دول العالم، يشغل أصحاب الشركات منصب رئيس مجلس الإدارة والمدير التنفيذي، لذلك أحيانا تجد الشركات صعوبة في الانتقال السريع لمجلس إدارة رسمي ومستقل، بالأخص حينما يكون مؤسسي الشركة لا زالوا يديرونها. يوجد تحفظات نحو زيادة البيروقراطية ومشاكل السلطة والتحكم، ولكن حينما تسنح لهم الفرصة تدرك بعض الشركات أهمية وجود مجلس إدارة قوي ومتنوع. إحدى الطرق لبدء عملية الانتقال هي تشكيل لجنة استشارية يمكنها الخروج بتوصيات للشركات دون زعزعة استقرار الملكية وهيكل السلطة القائم.
The role of the board of directors, once you separate ownership from management, changes because now they are not busy with running the business and the day-to-day affairs. And this enables the board of directors to have the helicopter view of what the organization is doing and where it's going. So our board of directors, what they do is they appoint the CEOs, they approve the appointment of the first line of reports to the CEOs, they approve strategy, and they look at results. As part of the board, we have also committees, two committees. One of them is the audit committee, and this reviews the reports of internal, external auditors and ensures that financial controls and financial governance are in place. And sometimes it goes beyond financial, like IT, like human resource issues.
So we started off with an advisory board that was 7 years ago with 2 independent board members. And to be honest, at the time, the selection was based on my intuition. But as we evolved, and it served a lot, to be honest, but I felt deep inside that it was not as effective as I wanted it to be, similar to all the other things that we have done in the group. So basically we evolved, and when we separated management from ownership, we started thinking of a new board, and we put down a criteria, a scientific criteria, on what do we need in the new independent board members. And finally, we put a short list of 10 individuals from outside the group, not shareholders, not in the business, not in the industry, because I needed diversity. I needed somebody from different backgrounds, from different school of thoughts, from different...
تفضل العديد من الشركات الكبرى في المنطقة إبقاء المعاملات المالية والتجارية بعيدة عن أعين العامة. قد لا يكون التقرير السنوي أمرا إلزاميا في جميع الشركات، ولكن عندما تكشف الشركة واعية عن طبيعة عملها فإنها تشجع الموظفين على الشعور بالولاء وتجذب المستثمرين. وتداول هذه المعلومات يخلق حالة من الثقة والشفافية بين المساهمين وباقي الأطراف المعنية. وفي الشركات المملوكة للعائلات يصبح التقرير السنوي أداة للتواصل المشترك بين الأطراف.
Essentially, the annual report is based around the financial performance of a company. And the reason for that is you cannot add market share to employee turnover to efficiency of production together because each has a different unit. It is the dollar value, the bottom line, that represents the applause at the end of the day for everything right and everything wrong that you've done. So this is the start of it. But then you realize soon that the numbers do not tell you the full story. So you need to have more data on the report, on things regarding, for example, market share performance, employee turnover, employee satisfaction. But by the time you've finished, you realize that as an entity, an organization, your success is measured by your relationships with suppliers, customers, employees, shareholders, government, community, and the environment.
Training and communication without actual on-job involvement and people experiencing what you're talking about doesn't work. This comes through, for instance, enforcing the annual report. In the annual report, you always need to scrutinize it and question what is submitted to you. So people will be on their toes to ensure that what they're writing reflects what reality is on the ground. So, for instance, if they tell you, we are embodying the code of ethics, and you know that you have several code of ethics violations in the organization, you need to call them in and tell them, listen, guys, I don't want you just to put it in the report just for the sense of the putting in the report, and hold them liable for it.
إن معظم الشركات المملوكة لعائلات ينشئها شخص واحد، وللأسف فإن الغالبية العظمى من هذه الشركات تنهار في الجيل الثالث حين يتنازع أفراد العائلة على السلطة وأمور أخرى. هناك حاجة لوضع خطة للخلافة في المناصب من شأنها تحقيق انتقال سلمي للسلطة والمعلومات لضمان استمرارية نجاح العمل.
again, part of the evolution process, we realized that being the family members does not always make you the most qualified. So that was the starting of our thinking of having a family protocol, which part of which is also addressing the issue of succession. And today, a year ago, we signed what we call a family constitution or a family protocol that governs everything you can think of about the family vis-a-vis the business or investments or wealth or liabilities or family councils or family conflict or you name it. And in the family protocol, we have a succession plan that talks about a family board that selects the most qualified individuals, bloodline of course, from the family that sit on the business board representing the family as investors in the business. So part of, again, the corporate governance is that, because you do not want the family issues to interfere in the business. And this is the separation I was talking about.
Succession planning is an essence of corporate governance because you need to ensure the interest of all stakeholders. And this is not done if a key person leaves the organization and there's a vacancy. One vacancy in the organization can paralyze it. Therefore, the organization always needs to ensure that it has in the pipeline people that are being developed and are ready to take over.
تشكل القيم الأساسية ثقافة الشركات وتحدد ملامح شخصيتها، كما تساهم لائحة قواعد السلوك والأخلاقيات في الحفاظ على روح الشركة، وبالأخص حينما تمر الشركات المملوكة لعائلات بفترة انتقالية بين الأجيال. وهذه اللوائح أداة هامة لتحديد قيم الشركة وتوضيح تطلعاتها وتوجيه الموظفين لكيفية أداء أعمالهم على أكمل وجه.
I think the most important part, the soft part of the organization, it is the core values. It is how people are expected to behave. Now, no matter how many systems you put in place, you cannot cover everything. And you need to preserve the entrepreneurial spirit of the people as well. So you don't need to delay the process and slow down the organization with bureaucracy and long systems. So at the end of the day, you need a set of behaviors that are acceptable in the organization, okay, and beliefs that the organization has to become the unifying factor. Another part of it was accountability. Now, if you just throw it there and you don't hold people accountable to it, nobody will take it seriously. So we had to take victims, if I may say, along the way, people who infringe on a core value, and then ensure that accountability is practiced and that communication is also followed to other people, you know. So you're showing the people, this is what happens if somebody behaves very well and aids and enhances the behavior of the organization within the framework, and then you had to show examples of the opposite as well.
The reality of corporate governance is not just in systems and values and ethics that all corporations need to embody, but it is a true connect between the boardroom to the shop floor to ensure that it is communicated effectively, everybody understands it, and it is woven within the fabric of the organization in a true sense.
أخيرا، تساهم هذه اللوائح والنظم في وضع الحد الأدنى للمتطلبات أو تحديد أفضل الممارسات، لكن يجب إدراك أن حوكمة الشركات ليست بعملية بسيطة، لكنها تحتاج لإحكام العقل.
During the journey, I feel that when you strive for success, everything else follows. But if you look for only profits, you could get blinded easily. And profits could come and go, money can go and go, but success in the true sense, in its complete form, is what we strive for. And my word to any generation, in family business or elsewhere, is to look for success in everything you do. Whether it's CSR, philanthropy, corporate governance, or running your business. And profits will come later. A very important hadith sharif from Prophet Muhammad that I always use, and I cannot emphasize it enough, which is, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ أَنْ قَامَ أَحَدَكُمْ بِعَمَلٍ أَنْ يُتْقِنَهُ, which means that God likes if anybody does something to do it right. And I cannot emphasize it enough. If you do things right, this is what counts. No matter how trivial you think it is, or no matter in which field it is, business, philanthropy, society, even your family, friends, what have you. I think what we need in our culture is to keep reminding ourselves of this very important